In the first of this series of videos, I showed how one recycled glass tile manufacturer makes crushed glass tile by using two grades of finely crushed plate glass, molds, boric acid, and colorants to make their tile. The manufacturer crushes and cleans their own glass, and the process to uniformly crush all of the glass that fine and then clean out all of the metallic debris from the crushing hammers is extensive. In contrast, many more people have access to glass crushers that crush into a wide range of glass sizes, all the way from 1/8-inch pieces down to dust. I've been working to develop a process that works for this wide range of crushed glass. In my experience, using boric acid as a flux with a wide range of particle sizes just doesn't work well. The boric acid boils during firing and tends to cause pinholes and uneven firing, and the larger pieces tend to flux out and grab the sides of the mold. So I've worked on a way of eliminating the flux. You may have noticed that although soda-lime glass softens and fuses in the range of 1300 to 1750 Fahrenheit, it devitrifies most at temperatures of 1600 degrees and higher. But when using a mixed range of crushed glass, you pretty much have to go up to those temperatures to get a smooth surface. So I decided to stay at lower temperatures and see whether I could figure out a way to still get a glossy, smooth surface without using flux. I collect glass from a picture framing shop. Most of it is untinted 1/8-inch thick clear glass. I'm going to show you a hybrid process using both crushed and cut glass to make some pretty nice tile. All crushing processes add some contamination to the glass, which is concentrated in the finest particle sizes. And the finest dusty pieces also cause fused glass to be opaque. So I take my coarsely crushed glass and use a fine kitchen screen, about 30 mesh, to take out the finest glass and discard that fine fraction. Then I take the glass that's left and use a coarse kitchen screen with 1/8-inch holes to separate what's left into a coarse and fine fraction. Every crusher is different, but mine gives about 60 grams of the 1/8-inch and larger and 140 grams of the 1/8-inch and smaller out of every 200 grams. To make two even fractions, I add back 40 of the finer into 60 of the coarser, so now I have two 100-gram piles of glass, so none is wasted. I put the coarser 100 grams into the bottom of a 4x4 mold, then put the finer glass on top. In this case, I added 1/2 gram of a mason stain to the top glass for coloring. On top of the whole thing, I place a piece of 4x4 cut clear glass. My kiln profile is to go as fast as possible to 1000 degrees Fahrenheit, hold for 5 minutes to stabilize, then 10 minutes to 1560, hold for 10 minutes, then cool. Here's the way the tile came out. It's hard to take their picture, but they have nice depth. This one I added the mason stain to the crushed glass. To this one I added 1/2 gram of copper oxide. It's a finely textured sea green. Using this technique, it should be possible to mix colors and even get marbling. I hope to do that in another video. By the way I add colorants is to use a fine screen and screen the colorant into the dry glass, mix it up a little, then add 3 drops of a 10% bentonite clay in water solution and mix it up. The clay helps attach the colorant to the surface of the glass particles and isn't visible after firing. Also, be sure to clean the top cut glass really well. With this tile, I used 1 gram of powdered stainless steel for the colorant, which gave a kind of nice gunmetal gray, but I didn't clean the cut glass on top well enough, so it got foggy in the heat. I'm going to keep working on developing a process that uses only crushed glass in these kind of mixed ranges to get nice colored tile, but for now this is what I've got to offer.